Welcome to the Echo Sportscast.
I'm Paul McLean.
And I'm Dave Dale. This is a little bit different. Paul, where are you?
I'm coming to you live from downtown Nashville on Broad Street. I'm down here for a hockey conference. We're looking at next year's equipment from Bauer, what we're going to be buying, what we'll bring into the store, talking about, different marketing things and how we can help grow the game and get more kids playing. So we're working really hard during the day and we're playing even harder at night. So there's a lot of banged up people down here, but it's great. And I'll just share real quick. So behind me, there's a purple building that's Tootsie's on Broadway. So that's like a really famous honky tonk. And then right over there, just across from me, is the Ryman Auditorium, where the Grand Ole Opry started. And Bridgestone Arena's here and all the bars. Yeah, so it's fun little falling to report.
You'll like this show. I went and attended a really cool basketball game on Monday night. Two of the top girls senior teams were at it, and Algonquin and West Ferris. Great game. We're going to have some action clips of that, and I have interviews with both coaches, which helps set up the big basketball tournament coming up this weekend, co-hosted by Chippewa and West Ferris. So we have good stuff there. We got a little bit of volleyball going on, and we can set up tonight's Friday night lights between Schollard and Algonquin.
Sounds great.
Let's head right into it. We're going to we're going to have Rob Brady, West Ferris senior girls basketball coach, and we're going to see some highlights of Sadie Straughan. She hit 2 3-pointers, which helped them win the game 33-31, and a few other plays that we have as well. So let's go right into the interview with Rob Brady. So you guys just had a really close game against Algonquin, a really good team. You guys came out on top. It was really exciting at the end. How did it feel on the bench?
Yeah, it was very exciting. Very exciting. Too exciting, actually. But we enjoy playing against Algonquin, crosstown rival. In the end, we did enough things right, I guess, to eke out that victory for sure.
Maybe the shooting percentage wasn't high for you guys.
Yeah, we do have stats, and because we had an injury tonight, we don't have all of our stats available, but we definitely needed to get the ball inside more and shoot at a higher percentage.
At the end, or that 3-pointer I'm not sure which player, she really made the difference.
Yeah, Sadie, I think she hit 2 in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Sadie Straughan. Yeah, this is her last year, so a grade 12 player, and we're thrilled to have her. It's been a wonderful group, actually, to coach all the way through. They came up through junior through our program and then have played now senior for 11 and 12. And, of course, we've won the championship the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to do it again.
Going for a 4th Pete?
Yeah, hopefully.
Right on. How many of your returning seniors do you have?
This year?
Yeah.
That's a good question, actually. Well, we lost 3 last year, and we've gained 2 grade 10s. So most of the team are from grade 11 last year.
Right on. So as far as goals this year, you think you're going all the way, or is it? Do you see some problems going in getting up to NASA?
So this year is a funny year because we're actually hosting OFSAA here at the school.
Oh, right there you go.
But the girls, as we had our beginning of the year meetings and practices, their goal for sure is to win NDA first and then see if we can't make it to NASA in the Sioux, and then we know we're hosting OFSAA.
A real cool thing was that he was coaching in Whitfield when they won the last championship for the senior girls, and then he came to the West Ferris, and they've won 3 straight. So they're looking for their 4th NDA banner in a row this year, and they're hosting OFSAA.
So he's got his own basketball dynasty that he's put together. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And I was watching the 2 teams play, and obviously I've only seen a few of the teams in the league, but I think they're, obvious. To me, it was obvious that they had the passing down, they had the plays, and they had the athletes that look like they're a little bit better than some of the other teams. I haven't seen them all though yet.
Well, it sounds like if you can go from one program and recreate that success, you've obviously got a really good system in place. So he must know a lot about what he's coaching.
Yeah, he seemed to be pretty affable on the bench. He had some issues. One of the players we talked about, she went down with a knee injury, and we didn't have the specific scores for each of the players because one of the coaches had to go attend to her.
Instead of doing the scoring and look after, make sure they're okay.
Yeah. So we didn't have all of the information, but I'll try to get a little bit more. But let's hear from Matt Sneddon from Algonquin. He's the senior coach, and he really liked the game. You can see the passion and the energy of. He's been a long-time coach here in North Bay, so he was very happy with what they learned out of that game.
Well, that was a close, intense game between two good teams.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Those games are a lot of fun. It's nice to have them early in the year because the girls get to learn how to play in close games, and hopefully it serves us well moving forward. But tough to finish on the other side of it, but those are a lot of fun.
What aspects of your game do you think you need to work on now?
The first time we played them, they beat us pretty good. We worked on our transition defense, so that was nice to see to progress. Offensively, we need to be a little more patient. We're rushing a couple of things, but those are things that they get ironed out as the year goes on. We're still early in the year, learning some different stuff, and we're throwing lots at them. So, but the girls have been really good.
Good, strong, fast passes.
Yes, absolutely. So
you moved the ball.
Pass? Yeah, you know what? We moved the ball really well, and it was fun to watch Ferris. Ferris is well coached too. They moved the ball really well. It was fun to see senior ball at that level now, because it's been since COVID. It's been hard to get the girls back into the gym and stuff like that. So it's fun to see us back where we were, and that was a lot of fun.
Right on. Well, when's your next game?
We're off to Sturgeon on Thursday night to play Franco. So we're up to a 12-game schedule this year. So we're on the road quite a bit, and it's a lot of fun because the girls get lots of reps in.
So have you ever met Matt?
Yeah, Sneds is regular THL, so it's the Thursday Hockey League at the Gardens for years. So we would play lots of hockey, and he's great with the kids, loves coaching, and he's a pretty good hockey player himself.
Oh, yeah.
And he obviously knows a bit about basketball.
Yeah, he does.
I'll try not to tie everything back to hockey all the time.
Yeah, that's all right. Puck luck, that's the way it is. Yeah, no, I like Matt was very enthusiastic, and he's thinking that they might have what it takes if they learn a little bit more to take down the big West Ferris Trojan dynasty. So that should be interesting, seeing how the NDA goes on from there.
Pretty cool getting to watch the kids at that age build as you actually start to see things that you've been preaching in practice come to life and go, oh, wow, you did that. And then now you're working on not just complimenting them on doing it, but like helping to add and correct it. So it's really cool to watch them. And it's great. Matt's obviously getting a lot of that.
And other girls basketball, Northern beat Franco 25. Kaylee Lamont, she scored 13 points. She's number 10 on the team. And interestingly, the other girl that was a high scorer for the Franco team, she's in the number 10 as well, Micah Goro. In volleyball, I interviewed the Algonquin senior boys volleyball team coach, Zack Thibeault. Interestingly, he came from Gatineau, and he played for the Nipissing Lakers for 5 years.
Oh, really? Well, and that's nice to see. That's the retention of getting those athletes coming to town, and then they fall in love with North Bay, and they want to stick around and keep working.
Okay, so let's hear from Zack and see what he has to say about his team. They just beat West Ferris.
You eked out a win against the West Ferris Trojans. It looked like they're in about the same shape.
Yeah, we did. The guys played well. We wanted to make the other team play as much as possible, and the guys did that to a T. So now it's just to work on our end of the court and just make sure that whenever the ball gets sent our way, we know what to do with it.
You're a new teacher here?
I am, yeah. I started, it's my first year of teaching. So first year teaching, not my first year playing volleyball, to say the least, but
Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Gatineau. I played 3 years of CJEP Division 1 there, and then I came here to play for Nipissing, did that for 5 years. Mm-hmm. So I've been around the game a bit, so I'm glad I have this older group of guys that I can express some knowledge with.
What year did you play with the Lakers?
What year?
Well,
in the 2018 to 20... What would that be? 2022? 2022, 2023, I believe, was my last year.
Okay, so very recent, you're coming out of 5 years with the Lakers.
Yeah, I just finished school and then landed this job, so it's perfect.
Well, right on. Do you know anybody else in town, or just the people you've met since being at university here?
Know a couple of teachers. A lot of my background is from who I met from the school, because being in North Bay here was my first time being outside of home. So the connections I made at school with my team, with other varsity players, that was my introduction to North Bay. But as I'm getting comfortable here and getting used to it here, I'm meeting some teachers and just some other kids as well and their interests.
What I really liked about that interview with Zack is that easygoing, admits he knows what his team is and what it isn't, right? And they're there to learn and have fun.
It's great. Really good stuff.
Well, really cool for him is that he's got his first job at Algonquin, French high school. He's from Gatineau, and he's French, obviously. So his being able to come to Nipissing, play with the Lakers for 5 years, and then be a teacher like he went to school for with a French school, he seemed like he was really in his element there.
Well, it's I've had 2 children go to Algonquin. They absolutely love it. And just the fact that, and my third will go there too. And being able to learn French, especially for someone growing up in Southern Ontario and being English and not having that exposure, my kids have been able to do it from the start. And, we've got great programs, and that shows how many doors it can open up for you.
Actually, I remember seeing Zack when he was coaching during a timeout. He went through the instructions in French, obviously fluently, and then he repeated them in English. Right?
Really? Yeah.
So it kind of matched with his. I could almost understand him in the French part just by his gestures, and then to hear it right after that, it was kind of cool.
Well, I'm sure more and more now, like in my house, a lot of the kids do speak English at home, and so it probably really hammers it home and gets the message. At least you're getting the message received in one language.
Well, tonight's going to be a big game for football. It is a Friday Night Lights game. It's a matchup. Schollards hosting Algonquin, top 2 teams of the 3 teams in the NDA league.
Well, and we'll see what's going to happen with is this going to be the year of parity where everybody beats everybody and goes around, or, but yeah, it's getting to the teams are used to each other by now. They're figuring out what the plays are and they're strategizing after games and what they've seen from the other teams. So this is where I think everybody's season really starts to establish itself.
Yeah, I think West Ferris has already lost its first 2, and they're going to be the team that is going to play spoiler in the semis. So everybody's respectful of West Ferris' ability to grow a team during the season, even a short one. So you can't sleep on them in the semis.
No, and that's especially too as you get those games throughout the year. You may lose twice, but you've learned enough from it, and that third one can be really hard to win. So. Yeah, we'll see how they can do and what Coach Robertson can have.
In other volleyball action, Schollard beat the junior Franco team 3-1, but the senior Franco team beat Schollard in a 5-game set, 3-2. The scores were really close, so these 2 teams will be battling. I think it was 107 to 104 for Schollard, so very close. One other result, I got junior boys volleyball. Algonquin beat West Ferris 3-0. Well, we're coming to the middle of the program where we interview somebody, and Paul, I wanted to do you to do the introductions for Miss Jefferies.
Yeah, so we had a chance to sit down with Kiara Jefferies, an amazing young woman in the community who came up to Nipissing University from the Milton Georgetown area, and she is very active with the NDSC. Soccer club, as well as the president of the North Bay Girls Junior Lakers hockey program. And we talked all things about how busy she is, what got her involved. And we talked a little bit and had some, just discussion about league business and what's on the horizon for them as they continue to grow and make more efficiencies in how they run the sport for the parents and the kids.
And after people see the first 5 or so minutes of this, they'll be able to go to the full interview on our website. So just so you know, going in, this is just a portion of our interview. So let's get to it.
Founded in 1968, Voyageur Aviation is a proud member of our community, providing worldwide aviation services from our headquarters right here in North Bay. If you're looking for a challenge, change, or want to expand your current career in aviation, Voyageur is hiring for a wide range of technical and non-technical roles, including pilots, aircraft maintenance personnel, corporate administration, machinists, supply chain professionals, and more. Be part of a workforce that is over 400 strong, supporting humanitarian, government, defense, and civil aviation operations around the world. for a career in aviation and beyond. Learn more about open positions and career paths at voyav.com.
We have an interesting guest today who came up to Nipissing University to take the phys ed program and has just taken over the town and is running everything now. Kiara Jefferies?
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to the studio and talking to us.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Now, you're involved with a whole bunch of different things. Can you just give me a quick summary of where you work and what you do?
Yeah, so I work as the sports administrator for the Nipissing District Soccer Club, as well as I'm the president for North Bay and District Girls Hockey Association. And then I work up at the university and help as an assistant coach with the women's hockey team and part of the game day staff operations and overseeing staff and learning their new roles.
What do you do after lunch?
Not much free time, that's for sure.
Right on. And you're from Georgetown originally?
Yes, originally from Georgetown. I grew up there, played hockey in North Halton, went to school in Georgetown, played a lot of different sports growing up, and kind of found my passion for coaching when I was in grade 10 or 11, kind of started that transition from playing to coaching. North Halton got a pretty cool grant from the government that they used to make a mentorship program for players so they could sign up to become a mentor with a younger team. I got paired with a U13A team at the time, and one other player got paired with me, and that player was actually Sarah Fillier, who's on Team Canada's national team and then just got drafted first overall in the PWHL.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty cool connection.
How'd you decide on Nipissing?
So I applied at Brock and Nipissing, and I also applied at Ryerson. It was still Ryerson at the time, TMU now. Brock, I could have went there and potentially played rugby, but the program wasn't really what I wanted it to be when I toured the university. And then I got waitlisted for sports media, actually, at TMU.
Okay.
And they only waitlist 5 people, so that was a tough situation to kind of be in. That was kind of my number one at the time. But the program at Nipissing, small class sizes, the interaction and the practicals kind of won me over, so that's how I ended up here.
Amazing.
So you could have been in Hogtown with the big city boys down there.
Could have been.
You chose to be between two lakes.
Yeah.
And then when you got here, obviously going to school and being involved, how did you first get started with your, all the different involvement that you have?
Yeah, it was kind of a hard place to be in first year, really trying to find a way to get involved in the community. Reached out to a number of teams at the time. It was still the Ice Bolts, so reached out to a bunch of teams, kind of landed in U7 fundamentals, the spot where they just kind of throw people that they don't know who you are, what you bring to the city, someone new. So I did that for a year. Then eventually I just kept pushing till I got my own team, but it was during that COVID year, so it was a bit of a challenge. I had the whole U9 group. So I had 23 players and could only have 25 people on the ice at Pete Pelangio.
Yeah.
So as a first-time head coach by myself, that was a challenge, but pushed through that and kept working my way into the association and eventually got on the board, and then this year became the president of the association.
Oh, congratulations, or condolences.
Yeah.
And then soccer. How did you get involved? What was the start with that?
So built some good connections at Nipissing through different programs. Took the coaching course that Mark Bruner actually teaches. And I believe Mark's actually the one who recommended that I apply for the job with the soccer club, and the rest is kind of history.
Well, and that makes sense because Mark was really instrumental in the changing over to become the Junior Lakers that the Nipissing District Soccer Club is. And then that domino also led to the conversations that ended up having Junior Lakers for the Girls Hockey Association. So, yeah.
Yeah. Last year, first year's Junior Lakers, and I think we had a good partnership in the first year. Lots of good feedback. Obviously, at the beginning, there was lots of hurdles, lots of challenges. People not necessarily wanting to take in the cost to change, but now they see the benefits, having our players go out to their practices all the time, making a large-scale tournament. The year prior to last year, we only had about 45 teams in our tournament. Last year, we had 70 and brought them all together for an OUA game on the Friday night. So that was really, I think, an important part to that partnership forming and starting.
And how's it going for this year's tournament, and when is it?
So this year's tournament is November 7th to 10th. We have all the local arenas in North Bay, as well as we've grown and expanded. We have Sturgeon Falls on board, so we have their rink Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Powassan's also given us ice for the whole weekend. And East Nipissing on just the Friday during the day, but lots of rinks being used in both North Bay and the district areas. People often forget, being North Bay and district girls hockey, that we have players from all over. So it's nice that those players will get to play 15 minutes from home as opposed to always having to come to North Bay. And again, we have about 74 teams right now. Could change depending on hotel and accommodations. If those remaining teams can find rooms, we might get a few more that are interested registering as well. And then we have a lot of teams interested in coming back to the OUA game. So Nipissing plays Western on the Friday night at 7 p.m.
Which, as somebody who was lucky enough to be there last year with my daughter's team and be a part of it, it was an incredible spectacle to see the gardens jam full for. And again, like the women's team draws really well, especially come playoff time. They're well supported, but to pack that arena and sell it out, that kind of only happens when the battalion go deep in the playoffs. So talk about some of the obstacles to pulling that off, or just what goes into it.
Yeah, definitely a lot of time trying to find partners, sponsors, reaching out to the city to get use of the video board, making sure we wanted to make it have that real experience like you're at a professional sporting event. So we had, like you see at an NHL game, we had like the skaters on the ice at the beginning, so they got to stand on the blue line with the players they look up to. Being in North Bay, having a female university women's hockey team that young girls can look up to, they can really see what they can be someday, which isn't something that's offered in every city, which makes it a big draw. We even have teams who are scheduling their regular season games right now, and they're trying to plan when they come up around our games because they want to give those opportunities to their players that they don't always have.
North Bay Echo is proud to partner with Twigs Coffee Roasters, a part of the community since 1995. Twigs offers a wide selection of quality beans, fresh roasted in-house every day. Find your favorite specialty drinks at our espresso bar, rejuvenate with freshly squeezed juice, or treat yourself to mouth-watering selections from our gourmet deli. And don't forget our irresistible fresh baked goods, including uncompromising gluten-free options. Twigs has 5 locations to serve you, from North Bay to Sturgeon Falls to Sudbury. Order online for pickup at twigs.ca. And coming soon, you'll be able to order fresh roasted coffee beans direct to your doorstep from our distribution center in North Bay.
So here we go with the other sports in town. I know, Paul, that you weren't here for baseball in the Bay, but it was a beautiful day and a full day of activities. I caught up to it at 5 o'clock, watched a little bit of the skills stuff. The kids running the bases, trying to catch the pop-ups, a little bit of competition. The North Bay Miners Softball Girls Association was involved at that time, so they came over, and then I was there for a little bit of the action where the guys were trying to whip pitch.
Yes, yeah, the mixed game or whatever they were calling it, but yeah, the alternating innings, and it was something to see.
It was fun. They all had the right attitude, right? The guys weren't trying to nail anybody in the head with line drives or anything like that. They were catching up to some of the pitching not too badly. I think they did all right. A little bit harder for some of the fastball players for the pitching, because the curve ball is coming at them and then going down. I noticed.
Yeah, and they're used to watching and preparing as the ball kind of comes up at them a lot of times too. So yeah, it would be a very different perspective for you.
Lisa Hutt there was pitching for the first inning, and her first pitch was a high and inside there, a little chin
She
radar.
was making sure that it was her plate, and she was going to make sure everybody knew it. Jacob and Laura were doing great promo on it. Lisa getting everybody with the girls. I heard great things from people. I'm sorry I couldn't be there, but and yeah, like you said, it was a beautiful day, so that was really nice to hear. It was actually a little cloudy down here. I was in Toronto. I hadn't quite made it here. I was at my daughter's hockey tournament, but my son played in baseball day in the Bay, and it was great. So I look forward to seeing the video highlights.
Okay, well, we got some of that. Actually, you have a little clip from Chris Mong. He's big on the video, and he had his camera up and behind. So we got a little bit of his son pitching. And so it was pretty cool. I think well attended, well appreciated, and lots of fun for the kids. It looked like everybody's having fun. Oh, by the way, if you hadn't seen it, we had a good interview with Jacob Brown last week. It's on our website. It's on our YouTube channel. Eventually, it'll be on our website as well. Check that out. Good interview with Jacob Brown, up-and-coming guy that is taking a lot on for sports in North Bay.
Yeah, and if you were just hearing about, Baseball Day in the Bay now, and you're interested in it or wanted to know more, we definitely cover a lot of that in the interview. And Jacob's been instrumental in putting that together, and it's been a great event. And this is his third year, so we're looking forward to what we bring to it and what he's got in mind for next season.
Next up, we're covering cricket. I got the chance to interview Romy Guman. He's captain of the North Bay Cricket Club team, or president, and he met up with me at Algonquin High School after the volleyball. So I interviewed him in the lobby there. They just had a tournament in Caperall, and a season-ending tournament. They had teams from Sudbury, the Sioux, and North Bay, and I think in one other locale, might have been Timmins, and I grew up in Caperall, so it was kind of fun to sort of tell him that and hear what he thought of that small town.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it'd be an interesting perspective for him to, get his take on what a small town Northern Ontario is like at bringing cricket to be played there, which is it's pretty amazing. That's something that is getting talked a lot about in our industry is the growth, and obviously with so many new Canadians, it's like if we went somewhere, we'd want to bring hockey or baseball with us. One thing that was also interesting while we're down here talking about it, though, is as much as there's going to be an influence of wanting to keep cricket in their communities, there's also going to be a lot of new Canadians wanting to give the Canadian experience. So we're seeing lots of, new to Canada, new to hockey joining in. And that's a really interesting experience when you're, things that we take for granted, fitting kids in equipment or how to come and go to the rink. It can be really intimidating. And but it's also so fun to be able to share that as people get excited about trying that new, and you can kind of live vicariously through their excitement, and it reminds you of how exciting getting started was. So I think the cricket stuff's great. I know there's a lot of city work on trying to figure out where to put a field. And did I read something happen at a council meeting last night involving cricket?
There was a motion to get funding, and I didn't see the discussion on it, but there was a motion to explore funding for sports infrastructure in West Ferris, including pickleball.
Yes. Oh, yeah, and pickleball as well. So did that come off a little bit? I have to do a little bit more reading, but it sounds like there was a bit of disagreement between the council on what they should be doing in terms of trying to get funding for things like this. In my opinion, I hope we can work. The more funding, the more infrastructure that we can get built for the city, it's just a positive way, because who knows, we may have some kids that want to play cricket. Find out what it's all about and see it. It's definitely one of the most popular sports in the world. So I'm interested to learn more about it and watch more of it.
We actually had Romy on with another gentleman with Lisa Boyvan showed To North Bay with Love. So there's another podcast out there. We'll link in the description to give people a little bit more of a chance to hear more. My interview with him was very short. We're going to get to it in just a sec. I asked him about the city infrastructure investment issue, and he's happy that they're looking at it and trying to do it. It was funny when I asked them if Caperall had a real field for them, and they said, yeah, they had a regulation-sized field, a cement pad covered with turf. And he said the one thing that they had was a track going around it, and then they might do something with that. I remember that field because that's where my high school days were spent, just around the corner from there, and we went on that field. That's where I learned to play rugby and a few other things. And I remember after one pretty wild party, a buddy of mine just got a new car, and we're drag racing around that same track that he was talking about in that field there about 2 a.m. Yeah. So, anyways, let's get to Romy. Let him share with us his thoughts on the cricket tournament. That was a season-ending thing.
You guys were just at a tournament in Caperall. How did that go?
It was amazing. It was a good turnout, and we have all the teams from North, and eventually North Wicket club, we eventually won the tournament. So it was great for us. So it was end of the season, and we end the season on a very high note.
I grew up in Cape Coral. So have you been there before?
I went there a couple of times before to Capriel. So it's a small town, but it's a nice place.
Well, I grew up swimming in that river downtown.
Oh, okay, nice.
Where do you play in Cape Coral? What kind of pitch do they have for you?
They have a concrete pitch, and they have a turf on top of that. And it's a full-fledged pitch, full cricket pitch. But they still have a track outside around that pitch, which they are, I think, planning to cover that with the grass next year.
Is that near the beginning of Cape Coral, near the baseball fields?
Yes, it is near the baseball field. It is close to that Tim Hortons and this gas station. Okay.
So which teams were at your tournament in Cape Coral?
So we had teams from Susan Mary Timmins and 2 teams from Sudbury and our team. So Thunder Bay, they had other plans. They were playing in USA, so they were not able to participate in this tournament.
The recent news with North Bay looking at how it can put together a cricket pitch for you, are you encouraged from what you've seen so far?
Yes, so I know lately there has been some talk in the City Hall as well regarding our cricket pitch. So even the club is very encouraged with what we have seen in the City Hall, like how they are talking and even taking initiative. The department is taking an initiative to find a pitch for us. And we're looking forward to get it as soon as possible so that we can host tournament here in North Bay.
So this is the end of the season for you?
Yes.
What do you do during the off season as far as the club goes?
So last year we didn't do much. We had a small indoor practice at the gymnasium in the downtown. Mm-hmm. But this year we're planning to host some winter tournaments at the Dome at the Canada. So we're looking forward for that too.
How soon would that happen?
I don't know. We're still looking for pricing, how much pricing it will be for the clubs and everything. So if that fits our need, like if we can afford, our club can afford that, we will be hosting that tournament maybe starting in December or something around that.
As early as December. Friend, yes. How many people in your cricket club here in North Bay?
Right now, if you say a hardball player, we have almost 50 to almost 70 hardball player who can play hardball. But if you say people who just play cricket, including softball and hardball, we have almost 8-9 teams like that. It's more than 200 people.
Quite the crowd then.
Yes, right on.
Well, thank you very much, and good luck with your hosting your winter tournaments.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much.
Oh, interesting. They're thinking about a couple winter events and tournaments and using Canada's dome.
What a perfect way to make use of it. I was at a meeting on Thursday before I left town in Canada, and it was put on by Sport North Bay. And they were a lot of talk about that. How can we work with the city? How can we get more infrastructure? A big push, what was really nice to see was the conversation about how can user groups start to work together better and sort of help direct the city with what they need to do. So it was a really great meeting put on, organized by Dave Saad, Heather Chambers, and the Sport North Bay group. And interested to see what kind of comes from this. But it was a great start and great conversation to get going.
Okay, time for some more sports. We're going to talk about the battalion a little bit. They're off to a hot start, 2-0, and they're on road trips until Thanksgiving when they return. We actually had Adam Dennis, the president, director of operations, here for a podcast interview today. That podcast will air on the 10th, the Thursday, and right before the Thanksgiving home game. Have you had a chance to watch any of the battalion?
I've been following them from afar. So when we were away at a hockey tournament in Oakville, and I was definitely on the minds and talk of some of the parents. And then I knew they picked up the win against Barrie, which Barrie's supposed to have a strong team. So it's always great to get these wins that you can sneak out in September. They have a funny way of coming in handy in March. So to get off to this start, that's great because there's a lot of new bodies there. Kids trying to get used to playing with different players. Coach is trying to figure out who plays best with who, but they're on their way. So that's great to see.
And I'm not sure road trip, extended road trip as part of the beginning of the season is a bad thing. It's a lot of times when new players get to gel with the team. And They got off the mark, right, with the home opener and winning that, and then they can get out of here and feel a little bit less stress and just gel as a team.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, you're right. When you get that chance to bond with the team, and it can be hard when you're just coming and going to the rink or going to school, but we had it this weekend with my daughter's team, being at the hotel or killing time between. We had quite possibly one of the worst team meals I've ever had in my life, but it turned out to be, I think, a great bonding experience for the girls. We just waited forever to get served because we kind of overwhelmed the restaurant. But, watching them there play games, the parents, we took somebody had the bright idea to take away the phones and watching them just get to play together and do stuff. It was really great. So again, if it can work for girls hockey, I know it'll work for the battalion too.
I was actually on a retreat with an organization I was with once, and the facilitator put in there a movie night together. And everybody was like, oh, what movie, right? What movie? Everybody wanted to know the movie. And he says, it doesn't matter what movie. It's something we're going to experience together. No matter what the movie is, we experience it together, and that forms bonds.
Yeah.
Lakers, home opener. Are you going to be at it tonight?
I will be. I'm getting back on Thursday. Yeah, I'm trying to keep my dates right with this. So I fly back on Thursday and then drive home. We'll be home Thursday night. So yeah, I'm going to do my best to get over there. My wife is on the road with the women's basketball team to Algoma. So I've got the 3 kids. So I'm sure we'll be looking for something to do on Friday night. So we'll be sure to be at the game.
Well, they're up against McGill for an opener, and we all know that McGill's got a great hockey organization. They always have tough teams. They're always near the top of their so it's going to be one of those games where the Lakers are going to need some fans.
Yeah, they can use all the support they can get. McGill is always one of the oldest hockey teams in the world, and a really strong program, great sponsorship, or I'm not sure what some funding from Molson as well that really gives the team an advantage. And from being down here, they're a Bauer test school, so they actually, this is for a hockey gear nerd like me. Whenever McGill comes into town, all the equipment they're wearing is product that I won't be selling in the store for another 3 years. So it's all blacked out. You wouldn't know what it is, but they will get to try and test out the different gear so that they can find out durability, get feedback from the players on what they find out, how responsive a stick is, or changes they want to make to skates. The trainers have to meticulously keep track of like any little damage or all sorts of things. It's a lot of work for them, but it's very cool, and that's part of the process of getting this equipment brought to life. So I'm always a fan of watching the McGill game, and I love when North Bay can catch them off guard, and they've had some good success with them over the years.
Well, the Lakers usually come to play, and they're tough and they're competitive right through the game. Mike has them usually coached to the. He's a pretty good coach, right? So he usually can get as much as he can out of those players.
He's got an incredible amount of experience. He's probably forgot more about coaching than most people will ever know. And yeah, it gets the players, comes up with the plan and lets them do what they need to do. So,
yeah, I had a chance to talk to Mike McParland of the Lakers, talk about the game coming up for tonight against McGill. Okay, Mike, big season opener, tough test against McGill tonight. What do you think? Is your team ready for it?
Yeah, I think we are. We've come out of the training phase here pretty good with only one guy injured. Unfortunately, Kyle Foreman, one of our returning veterans that we were really counting on this year, hurt his knee on the very first day of practice, unfortunately, and looks like he has a little MCL problem and will be missing for quite a while. But as I mentioned to you earlier, Dave, I think we have a real mature team this year, and we know what we're up against on Friday against McGill and Saturday against Three Rivers, but at the same time, we're convinced that if we absolutely play our best game and they underestimate us a little bit, I'm sure that a victory is possible. But we have to be ready, and that's what we just went over in our meeting here today.
Tell me about some of the returning players that people might be familiar with.
Well, Harrison Kane's played here with the battalion, and Harrison's really developed here. He's come in as a 8 or 9 point player in his first year to a 15-point player into a 35-point player last year in 28 games and was an OUA All-Star. And we look to build around his offense. Charles Farmer from the Montreal area is also back taking his master's this year in psychology, and Charles was another player that jumped from 10 points to 29 points last year, had an outstanding season. Devin May is in his 6th year because of the COVID. He can stay an extra year, and he's doing his 2nd-year teachers college this year. He's one of our stables on defense, and Peyton Vestio played here a little bit with the battalion. He's improved leaps and bounds. He should have been an all-star last year with 23 points as a defenseman, but was unfortunately overlooked. And then we have a couple of real good new recruits. We have Noah Von Sheet from the Ottawa area, 6'5", 230-pound power forward that I really think that he can bring us big things. A couple kids from the East Coast. Nick Mahar has looked really good in the preparation phase, as has Dominic LeBlanc from the Maritimes as well, a real high-skilled player. And then we have a lot of guys back that, they work their ass off all the time, and we know that we can count on them, like Eli Leifers and Jonathan Reese and Max Griffin, Josh Anderson. These guys, they work hard every game, and really looking forward to them having a great last season here at Nipissing before they graduate, and a guy looking to take over the role as one of our top guys here in the not too distant future. Charles Johnson is also probably unmatched in terms of work ethic, and we'll be counting on him this year as well. So we have a good balance. We have, as I just mentioned earlier, we really have a mature group, and they've worked very hard in the preparation phase here, and we're looking forward to a real good season.
I always like to know how the net looks for the season. How are we doing there?
So we have a couple local guys back. Zach Roy played a few years in Hamilton with the Bulldogs, and Reese Peru played in the Central Junior Hockey League with Pembroke, where he was named Goalie of the Year. And both those guys last year were very good for us. And they've seen the caliber of play, they've seen the caliber of the other goalies, and they realize in this league, for a team to be successful, having good goalies isn't enough. You have to be very good, and they've been pushing themselves, and we're all sure that and optimistic that they can reach that echelon and be very good.
At this level of skill, a goalie has to be ready for a shot everywhere, every time, and there's no slack minutes.
No, there are some good shooters. We have to remember some of the teams we play against have guys that are playing that are 25 and 26 years old and have maybe played already 3 years in the OHL and maybe even had a sniff of pro, and they're back to get their education, and they're men. They have men's strength at 25 years old. It's one of the harder parts of my job is I get a lot of emails from kids that have played midget AAA and are 17 and are moving on to university and would like to come and play for the Lakers or whoever, and you have to explain to them that they'd be playing against 25-year-olds, and we don't base it on how old you are. If you're good enough to play, you can play naturally. But from a physicality standpoint, we really don't want anybody getting hurt, and that's one of our biggest issues with kids coming in a little bit too young to try and play with men. And I tell them, if you can play university at 17, you could probably play major junior and get a school package somewhere, which would benefit you way more.
It's strong, fast. It's one of the best brands of hockey that I see. Do you know anybody coming from McGill that might stand out to some people's memories as far as OHL?
Fradioli was a good OHL player. He's one of their top guys. They bring in guys also from all over Canada, as we do. I think we almost have a player from every province this year, which is kind of neat as well. And McGill's not unlike that. They're able to get they bring in kids from all the major A teams in all three leagues. Yeah. So they have guys from the Quebec League, the OHL, and the Western League.
So Friday night's game at 7. Is it 4 o'clock Saturday?
4 o'clock Saturday against Three Rivers, Claude Vieira.
And they're tough.
They're tough. They've been the defending champion here 2 years, and as I mentioned, our schedule, the start is definitely tough. We play 4 of our first 6 games against teams that were in the Nationals last year. But again, like I said, if we continue with the confidence that we have and we're able to get some wins here off the start, it'll only bode well for us. And once we get past the start phase, we'll be in good shape.
Also, this Saturday at the Action MMA Club downtown at the old Regis, they're having a smoker event sanctioned by Mako. And it is a kickboxing demonstrations hard sparring is how I describe it. Guys are really going at it, but it's not a real competition. Worth checking out. Local guys fighting. There's a whole lineup. Joss Beaton is the main event. Check it out and support. They had a big event going on for Canada College, but it got canceled this weekend, so this is the alternative. Check them out. All right, well, that wraps up most of our sports except for our Heritage Moment. And for today's Heritage Moment for this show, we're introducing Ken Cox. He was a longtime OHL official, I think 25 years. He actually was so good, he was picked to referee 7 Memorial Cups. Yeah, and he is current manager and coordinator for new OHL officials. So I caught a little bit of his acceptance speech for the induction to the North Bay Sports Hall of Fame, right? I'm going to be cutting out a little bit of Dave Sad's introduction, but
is it a long-winded one?
It's thorough. It's thorough. Yeah, but we
can sum it up.
We can sum it up for him. Right on. So let's listen to Ken Cox talk about his experience as an official and thanking the people that helped him through the way.
Ken Cox decided at a young age that getting involved in officiating hockey might be a lot of fun and a good experience. Little did he know at that time the success and respect he would gain during his 25 plus years as an official. Cox's officiating career really started with the arrival of the North Bay Centennials. He was one of the first officials selected to regularly work those OHL games. As the opportunity to work games at this level grew, so did his ability and confidence and respect gained from the fellow officials and players. From the base he developed while working games in Northern Ontario, moving to Southern Ontario, Ken went on to a 25-year career as an OHL linesman and 21 years as a linesman in the American Hockey League. He amassed a total of 1,362 games, including 1,073 regular season games and 266 playoff games. The pinnacle of junior hockey in Canada is the Memorial Cup, symbolizing the junior championship for Canada. Only the best are selected as officials to work the national championship, and over his career, Ken has been selected a record 7 times to work Memorial Cup games. Upon his retirement, Ken continues to give back to hockey as he serves as the OHL officiating manager and coordinator for new officials. He is also credited with initiating the first OHL development prospect camp for aspiring officials. I don't know whose teeth I got in, but I'm having a little trouble. An unassuming presence on and off the ice, Ken Cox set a high standard for amateur hockey officiating in Canada that he has maintained over 2+ decades. Ken Cox.
Through his achievements as an official in the sport of hockey, Ken Cox is hereby inducted into the North Bay Sports Hall of Fame.
Congratulations. That's exciting.
Thanks very much, Dave. Maria, I'll let you do the rest of my speech if you'd like. Okay. Excellent accomplishment. I'm honored here tonight with this award from basically being a small town boy just south of here, the old friendly town that you might know of. And I'm truly honored here with being inducted into this evening tonight. And who'd ever thought a referee would be up here? You know, like really, let's face it. Who likes referees? Show me your hands. There you go. There's another one. Anyway, I'll keep it short, Dave. Probably got about another 30 seconds here, but I just want to make, say on behalf of myself and my family, I'm certainly honored here to be inducted into the North Bay Sports Hall of Fame. It's certainly caught me off shock here tonight. I've got a lot of friends here that came up from Boston. I'm probably going to be broke because I have to pay for their suppers. But they showed up and give me support here tonight, and I'm truly honored. I just want to make some people that I want to talk about that helped me out through the course of my career, and two big key partners that have probably played a big part in your Sports Hall of Fame was Pete Pelangio and Jimmy Kelly. And they were truly friends of my father's. They played with Mickey Cox, which was my father, and they gave me guidance. They kind of opened the doors for myself and getting me out of the little town of Powassan and getting me some opportunities here in North Bay. And I certainly am very honored by those two individuals also. There's some other individuals I'd like to mention. There's ones that helped me along the way, which is Jack Walcom, which is truly an honor to work with him and assignments and stuff like that. We lost him a few years ago. Still can't believe that. Steve was his young lad. I worked with Steve. Today I still work with Steve in the development side of things. Steve is with the National Hockey League, and again, Dave was talking about the development of officials. I'm very instrumental in getting newer female, or newer not females, but I'll just tell you about females here in a second. But we have a camp every year for 70 people, and we bring them in from all over North America, and we're truly honored to have them. And I was very instrumental in bringing 4 brand new female officials in the game, and they're still working for us today. So, go ladies. Some of the other referees that I worked with, Ross Johnstone, and Ronnie Phillips. There was Sandro. I haven't even seen Sandro in a long time, so it's unbelievable. Dave and also Tim. I just want to make mentions. I'm so proud of you two individuals, Dave and Tim, for we lost Kenny Miller. A few weeks ago, a couple months ago, and they certainly honored him, and I know that he was inducted in your hall also, but they did an excellent job, so thank you guys. The ones I want to really make mention is you can't do this job, you can't do sports unless you have strong backing, and that means strong family backing. And I know that my family here tonight, I'll hold it together, hang on. They supported me in every which way that I could possibly imagine. Okay, I was out a lot of nights, lots of road trips and cold rinks, and they certainly supported me. So I certainly want to mention them. Julie, my wife, she lets me go and do games that where are you going tonight? Okay, I'll be back, whatever. But it's passion for me, and this game of hockey, or basically sports in general, you make so many friends along the way, and I'm truly honored here tonight. So thank you so much.
A little sneak peek into next week's Sportscast. We interviewed Tyler Mullen, who's a field goal kicker for the Queens Gales. What do you think of that? What did you think of that interview?
Well, and again, a former scholar kicker, which is in the interview I kind of botched, and I discovered his dad's work experience going from Whitfield to Ferris and coaching. So I think I threw a curveball at him and pretty much confused him on it. But it was a really good interview. Great to kind of get into the mindset of the athlete and what it takes to be a student athlete, and also what it takes to have to make that kick. And you got all the guys on your team looking at you.
Hey, he handled that little bit of a mix-up, no problem. And you, as an interviewer, you shouldn't worry about it at all. You're going to make a lot more mistakes and probably more bigger ones than that.
Yes, I'm sure I will.
If my experience has anything to do with it, you're going to make worse mistakes than that, so don't worry about it. Enjoy. Thank you very much for viewing our Sportscast. I would hope that some people start thinking about helping us out with contributions. Do a little interview with some of your star players or coaches. That we can't get to everybody, but we'll take submissions and contributions that are of a positive way of talking about athletes and the sports that they're in. So we'd appreciate a little bit of that. If not, I'll be going around to different games and getting interviews with coaches. I've been enjoying seeing that. I'll be at Friday night's football. So yeah, it's chugging along, and I kind of having fun with this.
Yeah, I really am too. So just to kind of echo what you said, if you've got that content that you can get to us, if you've got some video, something that you want us to shine a light on, please let us know, and we'd be happy to showcase what you've got.
Well, that's been another Echo Sportscast.
I'm Paul McLean.
And I'm Dave Dale. Thank you for joining us. Please like, share, and comment. We appreciate it.